Hi, I'm Seabud and welcome to the fourth video of this tutorial series in which we will create a building model for City Skylines 2 entirely in Blender. And in the last video we have finished making our materials and textures, so we can now render them out really nicely, and we have a set of textures as we need them for City Skylines 2. But what we haven't done for now is that we haven't combined these into our final texture sets, and that's what we will be doing in this video. For this part of the workflow, we will be working in the compositor. So let's go to the compositing tab, let's click new, and here we can see our final textures as we have created them in the AOV channels are appearing. And I'm just going to rearrange the space a little bit and write down what we need to do here as steps. So first we need to combine, and then we need to export. Those are the two sort of main things that we need to be taking care of. And I'm going to start with the export because this is really just one node that we need to place, which is the file output. And in this first field here, we should put the folder in which we want our textures to be saved. And if we put this double slash, we can have a relative path to our Blender file. And in the second field, we should put the name of our project. So for now, I'm going to call this tutorial building. And now we can go to the node settings in this menu on the right and navigate to layers. And here we can click plus and make new layers. So I'm going to create one layer for our base color and also one layer for each of the other textures. And we can see that these exports also now appeared in our file output node. If we unfold the output paths, we can also see a preview of our final files, and this gives us a really good idea of what our final exports will be looking like, so that they can already have the correct names and the correct file type. And to set the correct file type in properties, we need to click image, untick save as render. We also want to be saving as a PNG and RGBA with a color depth of 8, and then the color space should be set to non-color. And now we can see that our file names are starting to look more correct. However, we need to put a underscore behind the name of our project here, so that the output will be tutorial building underscore texture name, just as it needs to be. For now, we have set the image output globally, but we also need to make some edits per image. And the way to do that is to turn on override node format and then go to color management and then also turn on override here. And so for our base color, the view needs to be set to standard. For normal, it needs to be raw, mask map as well, control mask as well, and then emissive, it needs to be standard as well. Now we need to go to output, to post-processing, and then dithering should be set to 0. This avoids some artifacts in the exporting. And then we can move on to the first step, which is the combination of the different texture maps into our final ones. And let's start with the base color. We don't need to do much here. I will implement a hue saturation value node and also a contrast node, so that we do have the opportunity to adjust some values in the final image before exporting. And we're going to rename this and group this to base color, and then we can plug it into the file output. And if we take a look at this, we can see that this is our base color that is being output from these nodes here. Now we will ignore the normal for now because we are going to take care of that specifically in the next video. And we will continue straight away with the metallic. And let's get a combined color node here. And the metallic will become our red channel in the final image. So that needs to be plugged into red, the code into green, and then glossiness will become the alpha channel. And this is everything we need to do for this one. So we're going to plug it into mask map. Let's take a quick look, and we can see that from our individual textures, we have created the combined one with the funky green look. So everything looks correct. Let's also name this one. And the process is very much the same for our control mask as well. Here we plug the 3 masks into red, green, and blue. Let's name this one too. And finally, for the emissive texture, we don't have to combine anything here, but I'm gonna just copy the 2 nodes that let us adjust the image a bit into this one as well. So we just have the chance to adjust values if we need to, and then plug it into the output. Let's do a final quick check that all of our maps look as they should be. And this looks alright. The control mask has this funky look with the 3 colors. That's alright. Our emissive map is empty right now because we don't have any emission. So it's all looking good. And now that we know that everything works, I will just go ahead and turn all of these nodes into a node group. Let's clean this up a little bit. I will also rename the outputs so that we can plug all of the values in without confusing any of them. Another thing I will do is take a couple of those values from the adjustment nodes and plug them into the input so we can actually control them without having to access the node group. Let's also change the name and the color of this group. And there we go. That is our final results. And that's already it for the exporting process. So everything that is left to do now is to implement a converter from height to normal map. And that will be in the next video.